Wellness Show, episode number 413.
Welcome to The Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. Welcome to the Wellness Show on Health, Wealth, and Enlightenment, and I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan. We're with you for the next hour to answer all your questions, dowsing in energy healing, helping you get out of your way, take back your personal power, stand in your truth, and deliver your awesome gifts to the world. And so if you're an empath or if you're a highly sensitive person, you came to the right place because you're in a field of like-minded people that are learning how to operate this body of awareness called the five senses that are hyper vigilant at this time with so much information coming on and coming down from the stars and all the interdimensional realities that are crashing into the now space. I think that's really what I'm beginning to feel. I don't know about you, Laura. It's just like I'm getting a little feelings of past lives as animals are coming in, which I've never ever had before. It's like, can't say I have memories of past lives crashing in, but I have this feeling that all this multidimensional aspects of who we are and timelines are all collapsing into this now moment. And I think that it could be exciting, but it could be quite chaotic and it could be quite frightening if you didn't know what was going on, right? Because the world as we know it
right.
is.
Just do it if you need to do it. What?
I think
I'll tell you that's not how I reacted back then.
I bet you did. My nightmares at school was I could never remember my combination.
Oh my gosh. Is that true?
Well, I can't. Yeah, I think I had to write it on my wrist or something. I don't know. But there would be moved so often as I would be so much in my head or out of body, I would go to the wrong house, right? I go to where I used to live. These are dreams I had, right?
Oh, dreams. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I can say that high school was not a fun place for me, right? Just like I spent a lot of time with the swallows outside the window, right? I was with the swallows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time sharpening my pencil. My pencil would go right down the nub because the pencil sharpener was in the back of the class, so I could stare out the window, right? And grind my pencil. Anyway.
And they didn't respond to it?
Yeah. So, lots happening. So if you're having these sorts of visions, dreams of parallel lives or some memories of being an elephant or a giraffe or of an animal, then please let us know. I think it's exciting-minded people that don't think you're as crazy as other people normally would think you're not. But really, you need to be committed, because obviously if you're having hallucinations and don't know what normal is, we need to lock you up and teach you what normal is. So we were talking about multiple souls. We created a whole bunch of questions and what does this mean and what do we do with all this information? And due to serendipity, following the breadcrumbs, guess what? An article appeared this morning out of nowhere when I was searching another thing, and here's more information on multiple souls. So we're really going to go out into the stars or out into the ethers or down the rabbit hole, depending whether we're going out or whether we're going down, to explore some possibilities of what this could all mean. So I don't have any answers around this. It's all brand new information to me, but I think it's interesting that, so that we know the various ways we are working with clients.
Okay.
Then to have these concepts in our mind that, so that we know the various ways that we can ask
before.
Because if we don't have the question, we can't get the questions that we're going to pose that you as an individual can answer both for you and for your clients. So I think what I'll do is maybe I'll read, and if the reading gets too tedious, I'll first of all I'll share this screen so you can see where this comes from, right? And then I'll maybe not show the screen and just read parts of it Okay, so this is where it's coming from. So this is, and we'll just, I will copy this and put it into the show notes, the address. So souls joining forces, composite clusters, twins, and more. So what is that? We're going to do the introduction, souls joining forces. Why did they do that? What's composite souls all about? What did they do? And what are some of the technical aspects of all that? And a nutritional balancing program helps produce competent souls. And this is really important because all of this has to do with highly empathic people. In other words, if you're not receiving guidance, if you're not getting clarity in your guidance, then most likely you're not part of a multiple soul. Multiple souls come together to do advanced work in one body. And a part of it is to have a higher ability to receive direct communication through guidance, right? Avenue and part of this. So it really would take a highly sensitive person to really be a person that would be involved in having the experience of being a part of a multi-soul arrangement in one human body. Okay, and then we won't be able to get all through this, but we'll see how far we can get into it. And just to let you know, I've got my book coaching last in the series today. So this is a half-hour show, so we better get going. So, okay. So why do souls come together? Okay, so this article has been changed as I have learned more about how souls get together or join forces. Souls join forces in the following. Just want to come back up here. Look at the date here. This is February 2020. So this is things. So this is sort of the latest and the greatest that he's experiencing. Okay, twinning. This occurs when two souls come together in space and have a special relationship to one another. This type of twins are already a male or female who were formed at the same time. They almost always are friends, love each other, share many qualities, and get along very well with each other. Bringing the twins together is one of the most basic of joining forces of souls. Okay, so interesting enough, it just pops into my mind. When we were going, remember, we were looking at joining that broadcasting group, and we did twinning in one body this time, but we're obviously, you and I, Laura, have been working together in multiple lifetimes, and so it may be a way of getting to the point of cohabiting in one body in some future incarnation. I just throw that out. So it seems to be like a linear progression of evolution as you work as I'm your mom and you're your dad, and we follow each other through lifetimes, playing different roles for each other for our soul growth. Then there may be a time in which twinning becomes a possibility because we can get more work done quicker by joining forces in one body. Scary thought. I mean, I know I'm not ready for that, Laura. I mean, you're already in my head and I'm in your head at times, and sometimes that's really great and sometimes it's a bit scary, right?
Well, it is kind of interesting how it works between you and I, where it's like, well, I don't even have to say anything, he just gets it. I'm like, all
right,
yeah.
yeah.
It's very unique. I've not found that with anyone else.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring that up as, to show you that this can be happening on this plane as separate individuals, but it makes sense that it could be happening in one soul, or sorry, in one body. Okay, so friends are souls that are generally work together in some way, like we just said, they've been together in a human or animal form, or they may have worked together in some other way. That's what we're talking about. They know each other and trust each other as a result. Souls are always happy to be brought together with their friends. So cohabitating as friends in one body would be joining of forces to get them. So composites versus singular souls. In this type of joining forces, a number of together, usually in the brain of a human being, which that's sort of amazing. I don't think of them as fully functioning human structured entities in one body, but what he's saying is no, they're coming together in the brain like sparks, like energy souls, right? They're not embodied. They're not physically embodied. There is a body that they're encased in, but they're not embodied bodies, if that makes sense to you.
Yep.
Okay. And they function as one soul. This is the important point. The body then becomes much smarter, wiser, and more able to do certain tasks such as thinking. A large part of this article, this is this important type of joining forces. So think about it. scary as it is to think about it, if you and I were in the same body and we had our joint telepathic skills, right?
Hmm.
How amazing that would be, right? Like it would be not just a doubling, it would be a quadrupling of our abilities, because when two or
Yeah.
more are gathered, there am I. There's always a third, right? There is always the divine added to that. So scary as that proposition is, and I'm teasing you because it's really pretty mind expanding when you think about it. But our capabilities would be quite amazing, right? Because you can do things I certainly can't do, and vice versa. So okay, and to organize themselves in a very specific way for a specific purpose. These souls all face the same direction, which I find that really weird. What do you mean you all face the same direction? Holding hands and with their feet on the shoulder. So now we're looking at really embodied bodies, right?
Hmm.
And they're standing on the shoulders of those below them. So they're forming what looks like a wall, right? And then there's brains. These are several layers of walls, one in front of the other, to form a more three-dimensional, like, sort of like a honeycomb or a
Oh,
structure
sure.
or sacred geometry. This
Uh-huh.
is called a brain because by lining up this way, the joined souls function much better with the memory. So think about it, when you put through molecules when they all line up, positive, negative, or you have a magnetic field that increases when all of the energy is lined up. So it makes sense if you line up the souls in the body, then you're going to have a stronger electromagnetic current, which then allows you to have a larger conscious or auric field. It also means your energy raises up, and therefore you have more bandwidth to commune with higher dimensional beings, whether they be eats or the angelics. And as what we discovered last time, you had an experience with a seraphim, right? Laura, do you want to
Yep.
talk about that?
Well, I called in a seraphim angel yesterday, and she was explaining to both of us what, well, answering our questions is more like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And saying that the souls were like on different kind of shelves, and this kind of makes sense the way that this person has outlined it, although that's not at all how I took it. Makes much more sense than how I took it. So I'm still trying to wrap my brain around this,
Yeah,
and
and maybe this is not something we wrap our brains around yet. It's just
Mhm.
how we have to feel this and digest it, because this is pretty amazing. I mean, thinking of souls lining up, and it's like what? So
Right.
yeah, it's stretching me as well. But I love the fact that here we are having a discussion about multiple souls, and boom, the next level of information shows up. I mean, what's the likelihood of that? It's just
Well, God
somebody
always
has to
sends
be
us,
arranging that statistically, right?
right. God always sends us exactly what we need in the exact moment. Like,
Right. So I just want people to know that, this is a quick show. We got 15 minutes to go, and we can keep on going, but we're really excited about having you join the conversation of multiple souls. Or have you had the experience of having incarnational memory of being an animal, or being another species, or an ET? Do you have any sense of this, the multiplicity of possibilities in one body? I'm just curious. So the lines are open. It's 1-866-369-7464. You can phone in toll free in North America. So I'm excited that we have a seraphim, and you think she's a female, right? Or
mhm,
I mean, I'm sure seraphim
female.
angels are not male or female, but she's appeared as a female, right?
Well, she has more of a female energy, so it's softer, open, and more nurturing and more loving. Male energy, more like our archangel Michael. He's more strong and like fierce and protective. That's not the
Right.
feeling I get with this one.
So, and she's very blue. She has a blue aura to her, right?
Yes, many, many, many different colors of blues I see. Just
Right.
like,
So she's like a frequency to her.
she's strong.
Right.
She's
Okay.
she's big, but
So does she have any, I mean, is she communicating with you, or is she willing to communicate with you, or she's on relationship? Is there?
she's waiting for us to ask her questions. I
All
think
right.
if people want to call in and ask, she'd be glad to answer questions.
Sure. So do you have a question for her? Let's start the ball rolling. What's your question for her?
So all right, how about you and I? Can you answer about Tyson and I and how come we're so connected in our brains and how this all works between he and I? Are we a part of a soul group? Would that be the right
Yeah,
way of
that,
putting it?
that might be what's a way of looking at it. Are we part of an older soul group? I would think, right?
Are we part of an older soul group?
In other words, what I mean by that is we made an agreement on before we incarnated that we work with each other in some way.
Well, that we already know, though, right?
Well, do we or do we?
Well, I think we've been told that by somebody I think we
Yeah,
trust.
okay. Well, maybe she can confirm it, or maybe she has more information about that, right? That would be useful for us. I mean, we don't want information just for the sake of information.
Sorry about that. I thought my phone was off.
Okay.
I think that it's, oh gosh, now I just lost it. Hold on, let me try and get back there. She was explaining how are Tyson and I interconnected on this plane. Oh, okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh. So it feels like what she's saying is that came together on this earth plane as two separate that were very similar that are coming together now to open up doorways.
I got it. I got it.
You got it?
I got it. Yeah, I got it. And I'm just going to go over and read you something that will explain it. Okay. Now we're in separate bodies, but if we actually did come together in one body, let me see if I can get this. So when we go to composite souls, why would they want to do that? So just bear with me. I'm going to get to. First of all, two or more are gathered. There's a third, so they're smarter. Composite souls in one body, they're more capable, right? They're also safer in that they can defend themselves from any rogues that may be attacking them, right?
Yeah.
They work better with each other than single souls, right? And they perform tasks that a single soul cannot do. So then it goes on to say, what do composite souls do? Okay. So every person is guided by another to life, even one does not believe it, right? So you and I are in the business of guiding other people. A few people are able to hear guidance and they listen well. Others hear, but they do not follow through, and many do not hear at all due to a crooked or damaged spine, spinal column, ear problems, or health problems. This is why diet, right, and structural readjustment in a gym or doing deep massage, and now I want to bring up Darlene Turner's massage technique, which is in the academy, which is important for you to do self-massage so that you can loosen the trauma in your body. So the spine of a person has to do not only with holding up the body, also helps a person receive signals or frequencies from others. The ears are involved as antenna in the human being. Anyway, we're going to skip through this. So the types of guiding. So I just want to go all the way down here. This gets really, remember I was, just let me back up here and say.
You know what's interesting is that I was a hairdresser and every woman that you've been with has been a hairdresser, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that interesting? I just thought about that, like how our lives are similar in many different ways in that way. Like,
and one of them was almost blind, and I used to be teased. You're getting your hair cut by a woman who can hardly even do that. There's a guiding other souls is divided into two types. Basic guiding means that one guides others who do not hear and listen very well. So that's part of the work that we're doing, right? It's helping, we call it intuition and guidance, right? We're helping people through the deep clearing protocol remember their gifts or rediscover their gifts or reveal the gifts, whatever way you want to look at that, right? So that they can get crystal clear what you and I are doing through the academy. This includes most people on Earth today. And then there's advanced guiding, and this is what I wanted to say, why I think you and I are working together. It means that one guides other who can hear and listen well. There are enough basic guides to help most people on Earth elsewhere, but not nearly enough advanced guides. So we're helping those that are learning to together. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. That's yes.
So see if what she says about that.
That's what people. Okay, I'll ask her, but I've been told that before by other people. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, she said keep digging deeper because you're getting like there's
Yeah.
more. There's
Okay.
more. There's more.
So
Like we're advanced souls. So if we're advanced souls, then
all right. So it's leading. This is similar to guiding, but it's more complex. It's not about individual. It's about planning projects, such as founding a nation, for example. It might have to do with technical problems, such as bringing a large invention to the planet, or even building a large structure in space. Here, leaders are required, not just guides. So I actually think, and I've been saying this all the way along, that really we're bringing together the empaths that know that they're here about to help or help birth the new Earth. So they're here as change agents, right? You're not here to fit in, you're here to change the world. So we're bringing together a collection of like-minded people in relationship with Gaia, our Mother Earth, to form a new brain pattern or a new series of synapses that allows the Mother Earth to be birthed into a new level of awareness. Another way of looking at it is by helping remove the trauma from individual people and remember who they are. Mother Earth doesn't have to go through so much trauma as she births the new Earth, because as above, so below.
yeah.
Okay. So leaders direct entire projects from start to finish. They must guide thousands or more souls and people in all jobs, calculations, and tasks required to finish the entire job. So if you're on the, the planetary, cleanup crew, then you're here, you not only to see what's happening here, but you're actually here to be part of the change agent. So as you change your inner structure, your belief system by doing the deep clearing, you are adding to the collective whole that's changing the whole function of the planetary soul. So this is what it means to be a leader. So it's one of the most difficult involved tasks for a soul. The composite soul are much better at it because they have more resources at their disposal. They're smarter and they work better with each other. Well, if we're not a composite soul, for example, we're not living at one body, we can bring bodies of people together and do community. A community of like-minded people creates a new neural network like a brain that brings about individual souls to do this, bringing on the new Earth into manifestation.
Right.
So for example, a leader soul may become a spiritual, political, or economic leader of a nation or even of an entire planet, and saying, wow, I have enough trouble with my own life, but in being in charge of a planet is a bit scary, right?
But then you keep saying, well, Laura, that's what we're getting ready to do. And I'm like, stop saying that.
It says it, right? It says, for example, a leader soul may become a spiritual, political, or economic leader, and for an entire planet.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. We're reconnecting. It's a short show today, as you well know, and I'd invite you all to come back.
Or a collective
Here we
body of souls that's running planet Earth.
Yeah.
It's not God. So this is something I think is really important. So if you're angry at the way the the planet is being run. You're talking to lesser gods, if you want to call them gods, right? Or in the hierarchy, you're not angry at God. I think this is really important, that evolution to manage a planet, and good luck with that, right? You know, it's not, I wouldn't think it's a very easy task. And then then other composite souls are responsible for directing animals. So for the migration of animals or migration of birds or the health of the whole animal kingdom, each species has an animal leader, right? To help it survive. So, and then there's planetary leaders. Some leader souls also work with us behind the scenes to build and supply planets, for example. Planets do not just evolve as we're taught. Planets are planned. First, the planetary body is picked for its soil and mineral, and then it's moved into a position where it can have an atmosphere compatible with the oxygen-breathing animals and carbon dioxide-breathing plants. And then the animals, plants, and even minerals are brought in by space. Controversial. We're nearing at the end of the show. But other things I've read, you know, I confirm that. And if you can communicate with whales and talk to the whales, they will tell you that they are interspecies
Interdimensional.
beings. Yeah, interdimensional, and that they can travel from ocean to ocean on any planet. And they only inhabit a planet at a certain time. So the exciting thing about this is that, just to know, and I'll finish this off, this thought, without reading any more, and maybe we want to go back to this topic again, is that nothing gets lost. So yeah, we say that species are being lost on this planet. It just means that the species have withdrawn from this planet because the conditions for their survival and their life are inappropriate.
Right.
And so
And
as
there's room for new species to come through, which is why we now have bacteria or whatever it is that's eating plastic now. So
Yeah.
you're gonna bring in the things that you need at the time that you need it.
That's right. And that also the catastrophes and all that are part of being directed by the higher energies to do cleanup for be inhabited by another species, just like you said. So we're just at the end of the half
just
hour.
happens like hibby jibby, you know, it doesn't just happen. There's
Right.
always a reason, especially in nature.
Right. So there you are. There's a little introduction and a half-hour quick show about multiple souls. I think if you were willing and able, we could go deeper into that. We only got partway into the article. I find it fascinating. The souls coming together in a community of like-minded people, like we're building with Impasse, to do a certain body of work, like the new Earth.
Debbie Etzel asked if we can do this again, pick up tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a really unique topic. So I'm gonna do some looking on myself with Dr. Wilson and see what I can come up with.
Yeah,
and talk to the Seraphim too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye for now. Thanks for showing up.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca. In touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.